Hello and welcome to our first module in our series on the really important topic of money. It's a topic that a lot of people don't like to talk about. Some even call it a taboo subject. Many people are surprised to hear it's actually a topic spoken about a lot in the Bible. There are about 2,350 verses about money in the Bible, and about 15% of what Jesus taught was related to money. Wrong attitude, values, and wrong behaviors around money are at the root of the problems facing our society. They are also the cause of much stress in our personal lives and the cause of conflict and breakdown in our relationships within the family. On the other hand, the right kind of attitude and putting in place good practices around money can go a long way in helping you and those close to you to be content and enjoy good life. In this series, we'll look at 5 different aspects of money: how we earn, spend, borrow, save, and give, and see what the Bible teaches on these issues. We will look at the values that should drive our behavior around money. That is honesty, responsibility, wisdom, self-control, and generosity. We will look at how to put the biblical teachings and the values into practice to help you become more financially healthy. Let's stop and think about it for a minute. Is money a major source of stress, anxiety, or conflict in your life right now? If so, why? The Apostle Paul said that the root of all kinds of evil is the love of money in 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse number 10. But also Jesus tells us that it's impossible for anyone to serve 2 masters at a time. That is God and money. We have a choice about which master we want to serve. Let's look at this short animation. We must start by understanding and then living out what God wants when it comes to our money.
God is the owner and master of everything. Everything we have is a result of what God has given us. He calls us to serve Him with all our hearts, minds, and strength, instead of running after money. When we see God as the owner of everything, we can trust Him to look after our lives and to provide for our needs. Psalm 50 verses 9 to 12 says, "I have no need of a bull from your stall, or of goats from your pens. For every animal of the forest is mine, and the cattle on 1,000 hills. I know every bird in the mountains, and the insects in the fields are mine. If I were hungry, I would not tell you, for the world is mine, and all that is in it." And then in Deuteronomy we read, "But remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth, and so confirms His covenant, which He swore to your ancestors, as it is today." These verses remind us that God is the owner of everything we have. It is wrong to think that God owns 10% and we own the rest. It can sometimes be hard for us to hand over ownership of our money to God, but there are great benefits when we see Him as our money master. In Matthew is the well-known verse. His master replied, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness." The master commends his servant for taking good care of the things for which he was responsible. We are stewards of the money and possessions we have, which means God has entrusted us to look after these things on His behalf. When we accept that our money is a gift from God, it starts to change the power that money has over us and what we do with our money once we have it. Here are some questions for you to think about. Do I truly trust God to provide for my needs? What do money and possessions mean to me? Do I regard these things as a measure of success in my life? What other things constitute success in my life? Am I in some ways worshipping money? Does my partner or spouse share the same views on money as I do?
That was a lot to think about. Let's take some time to think about those reflection questions in our groups or on your own if you're doing a self-study course. Financial health exists when the money coming in is greater than the money going out. All necessary expenses would be paid for, saving and investment are possible, and giving to others is possible. Our financial position is sound and enough money is available for realizing our financial goals and meeting our financial obligations. This is achieved through proper planning and the efficient use of the money at our disposal. Financial health has many foundations. These are 5 things we do around money in our lives. We earn it. Number 2, we spend it. We save or invest. We borrow money and we give some of our money to others. Conducting each of these areas well by making wise choices based on good values and attitude helps us achieve financial health. Each of these 5 activities will be looked at in detail in the sessions to come. Financial health also has another element: our physical, mental, and social well-being. Our finances and the resources available to us have a direct impact on our overall health and happiness. Financial health is good for the nation, for our communities, for our family, and for us as individuals. It helps us achieve our goals, prepare us for retirement, and assist us in accessing credit when we need it. Join us for this journey of 5 modules where we go into each of these money values in more detail, what the Bible has to say about them, and what we can do to implement sound principles for better financial health in our lives.